What's good with y'all boys, man? We back with another One Piece video, bro. And today we finna be talking about 1181. And the chapter of this title is called A God and the Devil. And basically this chapter, we just got Loki versus Emu all fucking chapter. The chapter starts off with Loki thinking about his dad, Harold. And it's basically just Loki reminiscing on when he had to take his dad out. But Emu is basically saying he's the one who suffered the most from this inconvenience and that everything would have been better if this Loki never existed. But then Loki and Emu start throwing straight hands. Loki immediately starts swinging at Emu and he imbues lightning into his hammer on some real life Thor shit. He swings this shit right on top of Emu and we see Emu's just standing there, but as he's standing there, like one of the little demonic flames that he has forms a face behind him, right? And he uses this to just clash with Loki's attack, and we see a shockwave coming over the whole island. And I ain't gonna lie, bro, Emu was moving crazy this whole fucking chapter. Nigga looking nonchalant, damn it, the whole fucking time. But we see after this attack, some of the other Straw Hats like Nami and Jinbei and people like Lilith and Bonnie are getting blown back. Then Loki says, I can't believe that Emu tanked that. Then he says, what are these black flames? What sort of power do you have? And then this is where Emu says, Omen is simply Mu's military might. And then he literally starts growing and he says gigantification. He says it is the power that dwells in all things. Then we see another like demonic face attached to Emu's weapon, and then he clashes with Loki. But in this panel, it looks like Emu's weapon turns into more like a mace type of thing with the face on it. But this is very interesting how he says Omen is Mu's military might. It's damn near looking like this military might shit or Omen or whatever is damn near like an evil version of hockey, or more like a magical dark version of hockey in a way. That's probably the best way I can describe it based off of how Emu's saying it. But we got a lot more to talk about in this chapter because Emu's gonna get to yapping a little bit, right? So they get back to scrapping, and mid clash, Emu literally just flips over Loki, and he flips over this nigga and changes his weapon into a fucking sword and stabs this nigga Loki right in the chest, and the move is called Nemesis. Now this panel got a lot of motherfuckers talking here. For one, let's just get this out the way. This panel looks amazing as fuck, you know what I'm saying? The action in this chapter was very fucking good. I feel like it's rare when we get One Piece chapters that have just straight action like this, especially it's been a minute. I mean, I can't say it's been a minute. I feel like it's been a decent amount of action going on in Elbap, but nigga, a chapter like this chapter was amazing. It was kind of short, but like I said, it's straight action, so it makes a little bit of sense. But this panel right here got a lot of everybody talking, not only because the panel looks good and Loki's tanking this devastating guy shot. 90% of the verse is probably dying to this shit, by the way. But everybody is talking. For one, it's a sword, so you know y'all Mihawk fans finna get happy as fuck calling the Mihawk upscale. For one, the blade does look black. Now this could just be since Emu has the black flame shit and he's like morphing his weapon throughout the fight. Clearly the flames have something to do with that, so it's not necessarily a black blade. But what if this could just lead to how a black blade is formed? What if maybe that's how Mihawk got his black blade in the way, because he had access to these flames? Who fucking knows? I'm not saying Mihawk is a fucking Emu merchant, but he could be a part of Nepo piece. This nigga could be related to Emu in somewhat shape or form. That theory has been going around for years, but after this chapter everybody's more like keen on it. I've always felt like it was possible for Mihawk to be related to Emu, but I don't fucking know. You never know what Oda gonna do. But after this, a lot of people saying it is. Now honestly, this doesn't necessarily confirm that. This could just be Oda just using a similar style of attack of someone that's using the sword, but Oda knows that the fans go look deeper into it, and we all know Oda likes to create deeper meanings himself, so this very well could be very good for y'all Mihawk niggas. And y'all know, bro, me personally, I don't really care, you know what I'm saying? I'm not against Mihawk being strong. Me personally, I think Mihawk could be over Shanks, because I'm still not a believer that Shanks beat Loki, especially after this fucking chapter, nigga. After this chapter, ain't no way in hell Shanks beat Loki. But anyway, let's get back to the fight, bro. After Loki tanks this attack, he falls right to the fucking ground. Then Emu says strength is an attribute that people naturally crave, and yet that craving can only be satisfied via corruption. And we see a picture of Dory and Bragi being diamond reversing. And then he says it requires one to submit their will to a covenant. And then we see Harold. And then Emu says when their envy drives them, they'll achieve power. Those three things together create a trinity known as a dominion. And then he hits Loki with another demonic face Omen attack right at point blank range, and it explodes right on Loki. But then Loki gets right back up and swinging at Emu, but while he's doing this, Emu says, shall I grant you the power of a god? In one step you'll be far beyond humanity. And Loki says, I don't want it. And we see a close-up shot of Emu just getting hit with Loki's hammer again at point blank range, when Loki screams and says he doesn't want the power. Now this is very interesting right here with Emu talking about this dominion shit, because I've seen people say that he's basically describing how his power goes, and I've also been seeing people say this is hinting at what Blackbeard is going to get. Y'all know every single time we get an Emu chapter and Emu start yapping, it's going to be compared to Blackbeard, because one of the biggest talks in the community right now is who's going to be the final villain. Damn near every chapter that the topic is going to come up, because we're going to learn more about Emu and Blackbeard as the story just fucking goes on. But a lot of people have been saying Emu's talked about corruption, the covenant, and the dominion, right? Well, he said all three of those when they come together known as the dominion. He said when they get envy and the covenant and the corruption. I saw a theory, I think it was by his name, Nerd King on TikTok, and this theory was cold as fuck, nigga. He said Blackbeard is going to access this because Blackbeard already has corruption because he killed that for the devil fruit. The covenant is the deal he made with the government to become a warlord and or a Yonko, and then the power of the devil from Emu is what he's going to steal, and that will be Blackbeard's holy trinity. And that's why Emu has 3 skulls, and that's why Blackbeard has had 3 skulls on his Jolly Roger shit all series. That makes a lot of fucking sense, you know what I'm saying? I'm a believer. Yeah, if you watch my last Blackbeard video and I was talking about him or Emu being the final villain, I literally said I think Blackbeard already has his 3rd devil fruit. I do not think Blackbeard will take Emu's devil fruit, but I do think this can still make a lot of sense though, because these 3 things do make a lot of sense. Blackbeard could be going down this type of path, but I still don't think he's going to end up with Emu's devil fruit though. But it will be interesting if Blackbeard is trying to tap into this type of power system that Emu has, but in a different way. Like, since Emu has the devil's fruit, what if Blackbeard is like getting a combination of other fruits to combine it to get access to the abyss, to access this omen power, or to mimic it in a way? I feel like that would be very cool if he goes down that route instead of actually just stealing Emu's devil fruit. But let me know what y'all think about that in the comment section below. But after that, Loki's sitting down after he swung on Emu, and Emu gets right back up. I don't know why the fuck this nigga Loki was sitting down. He must have thought this nigga Emu was done. But then this nigga Loki says, so God's dominion, that's your power. He says, it sounds more like a deal with a devil to me. And then this nigga Emu says, is there a difference between a devil and a god? Hence the name of this chapter, you know what I'm saying? Emu was spitting this whole fucking chapter. He was dropping some cold ass lines. I cannot wait for this shit to be animated. Loki says, beats me. I just know I ain't letting myself get dominated by anyone, which is real as fuck. That sounds like some shit Loki and Luffy would say. But then this is where the chapter gets really interesting, because Emu says, the world rejoices. The world itself rejoices in the state of dominion. Isn't that right? And we see him having a slight flashback of what seems to be Joy Boy. And then we see Loki about to take a swing on Emu again, but then Emu screams, isn't that right, Joy Boy, right? And then we see him screaming and letting out hockey all over the place, and we see Luffy eating, and Luffy's basically just stuffing his face with food, because he's like, bro, I've never felt hockey like this before. This nigga feels strong as shit. I gotta eat all this food or else we're not winning this fight. So he's just stuffing his face as much as fucking possible. But this is very interesting right here, because the fact that Emu says the world itself rejoices in a state of dominion, which is what he was just talking about with the corruption in his power system and all that. He says the world itself rejoices in it. And he says, isn't that right, Joy Boy? So I've been seeing a lot of people say after this that maybe him and Joy Boy were fucking friends. I feel like people have had that theory before, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Oda can really do anything. He can make it to where him and Joy Boy are like mortal enemies and they just got hella smoke with each other. Or he can just make it to where they were cool and the shit turned against each other. Now, since it's One Piece, I do feel like it's kind of likely for it to be that they were cool in some way or capacity, or maybe even really close friends. And shit happened, and then they led Emu to where he is now to go against Joy Boy. But it seems like from this panel, maybe their ideologies clashed in a way, but they were like kind of cool with it at first. But then over time, it stemmed to a state of, yeah, we can't just be cool with this if our ideologies are this fucking different. It seems like that's what I'm getting from this panel. Y'all let me know. I don't really got too much to say about this, but it is very interesting. Hopefully we get more about this in the next fucking chapter. But he says, isn't that right, Joy Boy, and starts screaming. But this lets me know for a fact, Emu is excited in some way to, like, I wouldn't say excited to see Joy Boy, because clearly when that hockey knot hit at the end of Egghead, he was like mad as fuck. But maybe that's because he just thought Saturn didn't, like, he was just mad because Saturn fucked up, maybe, right? I don't know. But from this, it seems like he has a type of like respect for the nigga in a way. Am I tripping? Y'all let me know in the comment section, but I don't know. But I just know for a fact if he's tweaking out like this, just thinking about Joy Boy, whenever Luffy steps in, oh, he's about to tweak out like fucking crazy. But Loki says, you're still lost in thought, and that only tells me one thing, that you're underestimating me. While Emu's over here reminiscing about Joy Boy, he sends this nigga flying right into the Atom Tree all across the island, bro. And right as he swings this nigga into the fucking Atom Tree, we see this nigga Emu, and he's actually looks like he's fucking bleeding, bro. But the moment he got swung into the crater, Loki ain't waste no time. He immediately goes full zone form right into Nidhogg and shoots a Thorheim right at Emu. And Emu looks a little bit worried right here in this panel. He says Nidhogg, and then he literally puts the hand sign for his omen thing last fucking second, and he seems to have taken no damage from this. We're gonna assume the omen flame protected him, or he just parried it like he did earlier in the fucking chapter. But then he says, thou really hast returned, and it says a fearless smile, and that's the end of the fucking chapter. But yeah, man, this chapter was really fucking good. Like I said, only thing I really didn't like about the chapter is that it was kind of short, but it was a lot of action in the chapter. So when chapters are really action based, they're usually pretty fucking short, so that's okay. But this chapter was fire. When this gets animated, it's gonna be crazy as fuck. Biggest takeaways from this chapter: Emu and Joy Boy's relationship. Hopefully, hopefully, I feel like we're definitely gonna get more of that expanded upon. Seeming like Luffy's gonna come in here in the next 2 to 3 chapters, so we'll probably see Emu start reminiscing about Joy Boy even more. Maybe he'll start yapping a little bit more and saying more shit about him. Another takeaway: what the fuck is he talking about at the end of this chapter when he's saying like thou hast really returned? Is he talking about Loki? You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm not mistaken, nigga, didn't he already say something about him being Nidhogg and Nika, like when he was trying to dominate reverse these niggas? So I don't know. I've been seeing niggas talk about this, and I've been seeing niggas say like it seems like Emu's forgetting bits and pieces of what happened, like, and maybe it could potentially be like a multiple soul theory going on, multiple people inside the body shit with the ringed eyes thing. You know, that's been a theory, but it's seeming like he's like, because even when he showed up and he was like, who's your king here? Like, nigga, you know Harold was the king, and you know it ain't nobody else here is the king, so like, why are you showing up and saying that? You know what I mean? So who fucking knows? Let me know what y'all think about that. I didn't really pay any mind at first reading these chapters, but after I heard people point it out, it is kind of fucking weird why he's doing that. And if he's not talking about, now there's also, well, like, he could not be talking about Loki at the end of the chapter. He could be talking about Luffy, because I don't know why when he's fucking sitting here reminiscing about Joy Boy and he screams it out, it seems, for some reason, it feels like he sensed Luffy. Because the fact that he's showing Luffy right after he says, isn't that right, Joy Boy? And then at the end of the chapter says, thou really has returned. It's like he's still reminiscing and thinking about Joy Boy from earlier in the chapter. So I don't fucking know. He could be talking about Loki or Nika, but if either way, it really doesn't make sense, because he already said that y'all are Nika and Nidhogg like 3-4 chapters ago when he tried to diamond reverse these niggas. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think about this Mihawk shit too. Let me know if y'all think Mihawk and Emu have any type of connection at all. If Emu has a connection to Emu, that's a W. Y'all know Zoro's my GOAT, so that would just make Emu, that would make Mihawk more important in the long run for a Zoro fight, so that's a dub. But, and also that would be very interesting from the Seraphim Mihawk's point of view now that I'm thinking about it, because if Mihawk is like a Nerona and the Seraphim is like also a Nerona, that Seraphim fuck around end up being Zoro's last opponent, because especially if he gets aged up, because that nigga's gonna be OD strong as shit. But like I said, man, very good chapter. Also, one more thing, Loki is him, bro. Loki, of course, we didn't see the hybrid form. That's like, I don't know how we didn't see the hybrid form. I was definitely expecting to see hybrid form Loki this fucking chapter. I don't know how we don't see that. Definitely probably gonna see that shit next fucking chapter. Or I don't know, bro. Oda might hide that shit from us for a fucking minute, since it seemed like Loki might be around to the end of the fucking story, and he probably gonna get a decent amount of action and showcase his shit. So I'm not sure, bro. Who really fucking knows? But I'm gonna be honest, bro. Loki, all y'all niggas saying that Loki wasn't stronger than Kaido, or still trying to debate Kaido over Loki, bro. After this chapter, just hush that shit up, bro. Loki's 100% over Kaido, nigga. Ain't no doubt in my mind. I'm gonna be honest, the way Loki performed against Emu this chapter, I don't even see Shanks doing this shit, bro. But that's partially because Shanks is a regular human being, right? Loki's an ancient giant who also has the Nidhogg fruit, so his durability is just on another fucking level. Like, if Shanks got hit by this Nemesis shit, bro, he's done. And like, do y'all, like, am I tripping? No way I'm the only person who thinks that shit. I don't even see Blackbeard doing this good against Emu, bro. But since Blackbeard got the darkness fruit, which can counter a potential devil fruit if Emu shit is a devil fruit, that leaves him having a potential advantage right there. But Kaido, Big Mom, even Shanks, bro, I don't see them doing this solid against Emu. It's not even like Loki did hella good. He was getting fucked up, but his durability is saving him, and plus he moving with vengeance right now. He's trying to get back for his pops, so he on all ass right now. So yeah, he got a different type of vengeance fueling him for this moment. But yeah, man, I ain't finna make this video too long. W fucking chapter. I'll probably make a predictions video and drop that on like Sunday, because I know chapter spoilers usually come out on like on Monday, Sunday night. So I'm trying to drop that maybe Saturday or Sunday for y'all niggas, bro. I'm not sure if it's gonna be a break. If it does end up being a break, because I heard it's like some type of magazine Golden Week in Japan or some shit. If it ends up being a break, I'll try to provide that boys with an extra video. But like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how I feel about the chapter, and I'm out, bro. Peace.